Hi, I'm Fefe, Fefe Noel, also known as Fefe The Practical Mystic. Welcome to my space. My space, you probably found me on my YouTube, on my Facebook, on my website, or somehow I hold space for you. Regardless, you are with me here in the space, listening, and I appreciate you. So, have a new look? Yes, my long tresses and locks are transformed. I can't say they're gone, they're transformed, but they're not on my head, clearly. So it's a new era for me, and I am really loving it. I felt called to do this. I've always held space for this era that will come, but then the calling just came really strong in September. Something about that month. And I've had those locks since 2017. My daughter was 1.5 years, and my son almost 4. So about 3.5. They're 2 years apart, my 2 babies. Yeah, I love them so much. But yeah, so that's when I got the locks, and now my babies are 9 and 11 as we are recording this video. They are coming into their solar return. We're in our winter season here. And yeah, so ushering something new, letting the old go. I needed a change, a release, and it also symbolizes the surrender and letting go and the shedding that takes place to make new space and room for new things, a new you. And yeah, that's what this whole look is symbolizing, a rebirth. I actually cut it completely bald. I can't even say it was a buzz cut. It was slower than that. And that took place in, I believe it was November, either October or November. And yeah, it felt very, very liberating. It really called forth parts of me that had to show up in my being to kind of just, like I said, transition, move the energy. And now I feel like I'm getting pretty adjusted to the new look and the new state of being that's being ushered forward to be here with you today. So yeah, I made a accumulation video. You could probably find it if you follow my Instagram handle, or you're friends with me on my Facebook at Fefe Noel. You type that in. There's rules. You DM me first. We connect first before I allow you in my space as a so-called Facebook friend. Yeah, and there is a video there. If not, you can see it. It's public for anybody, whether you're my friend or not. And you can kind of see my quick 90-second of my 8 years or 7 years of locks come to a close and come to the space where I am today. So enjoy if you decide to do that. But nonetheless, I just wanted to come here because clearly life has continued to flow forward. And as I intended to come to you guys more frequently, it would have been like life has also, I've also went with the flow of life, and it's taken me to places that I needed to sit with, some heavy space, some heavy places within myself to that needed my attention, that needed me to be there. And yeah, I bring more of myself to you today because I'm more integrated with those spaces and places, and more of that is integrated in my being, with love and compassion and grace, because sometimes that's what life calls you to do. And a lot of times we run from that calling, right? Because we think the call is outside of us, but the call is actually to go within and to sit sometimes uncomfortable in those dark spaces and really sit with those dark aspects of ourselves that we've left behind or suppressed or denied or even separated ourselves from. But it has obviously gotten us to a place where we need to sit with it and start loving on ourselves deeply from that dark space, you know? I don't know if you all ever fell into a season like that, a moment like that. I think all of us have, if we're really being truthful with ourselves, because we can only meet ourselves. We can only meet others as deeply as we met ourselves. So I send this videos out to those who've been there, those who may have been beating up on themselves, those who have may been fighting with themselves, dragging themselves in conflict with themselves, denying themselves the ability to feel sadness, to feel grief, to grief in life of change, because life is forever unfolding. And sometimes we need to take a moment to grieve. Sometimes we need to take a moment to process. And yeah, with the weather being rainy here and cloudy, stormy, hurricane season, it's beautiful now, clearly. Taking it in. Holding space for this fresh, beautiful wind that's coming through right now. She wants to speak as well. But yes, as I'm speaking to you in a place that's completely opposite from the space that I'm speaking of, it brings perfect balance to this conversation. And yeah, like I had moments where like the weather was intense here. It was really hot, scorching hot when the sun was out, if the sun was out. So it wasn't pleasant to be outside, as well as raining, storming, moldy, dark, you know, that type of day. But it actually lasted for some months, and it was pretty intense. It's actually been here for 4 years, but it was like the most intense time. And then like I said, some personal things was taking place in our life where we found ourselves in a cycle, like a stagnant, repetitive cycle that we so desperately yearn to be out and done with it, you know? I don't know if you ever felt like that. You just felt stuck. You kind of feel hopeless. You feel like you're just stuck, kind of, you know? You're kind of forced to sit there and really deal with those dark feelings in that space. But sometimes that's what you're being called to do, just simply acknowledging where you are, acknowledging those dark feelings, and that is a step in the right direction. There is light and awareness, just in that, you knowing that you do feel uncomfortable, you knowing you do feel called to change, but don't know how yet, right? So yeah, that is what I want to address. It's kind of like, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't address that. And I have a lot of great topics I want to bring forth to you guys. But I was like, hey, I can't skip over this because this has played a big role in going through these dark seasons that are not so romantic and fun or pleasant or something you want to scream to the mountaintop, right? But how do you get to the mountaintop? How do you get there? You got to be willing to go low. And I don't mean enacting with deeds and choices of that, but sit with those parts of you that blocks and hinders you from moving forward, that always gets in the way every time you sit here and you want to make a step forward and go into the right direction. right? You yearn and you feel that calling, but there's also that part of you that's sitting there anchoring you so you don't go too far. That's the part you need to sit with, right? That's the part you need to sit and give that aspect or that twin version of you, and let her know that you need her, him or her. Let them know, like, hey, I need you too. I need that part that's going to sit here and have that extra zazz, that's going to have that extra kick, that spice, that fire that propels you to move forward, to rocket off, to spring forward like a tree that comes from the roots that are so deep, that rises above the ground like these beautiful sacred trees that I surround myself with. Being grounded, right? Learning how to stabilize and own every ounce of you, your dark, deep, dark roots. Every root that helps ground and centers you. Don't forget about them too. For how could you stand and how could you grow without your deep, dark roots? This is the part of you that you must integrate, accept, and hold a gracious, compassionate space for. Because this is what allowed you to grow and reach that mountaintop that we're all striving to reach in life. Be that version of ourselves we're all striving to be in life. Who and how could we be him or her if we don't acquire and adapt and integrate and embrace our roots? We've all been born in a dark space, down to a seed that is covered in the grass and grows, down to these trees, down to us in the wombs of our mom belly. That's how we all get here. And we forget that. We talk about this positive vibe only, but a part of this holistic lifestyle as the practical mystic is to integrate and really affirm our wholeness. And that's including to embrace our darkness, our dark seasons, our dark times, our dark aspects of ourselves. Stop fighting it. That is a part of us. We are flesh and blood. We are bones. We are made from this earth. And one day we will transition and give all the elements, the fire, the air in our lungs, the fire in our spirit, right? The earth and the minerals. We will turn back to dust and dirt. We will turn back to the basic elements and forms. So we must embrace every aspect of us, including our animal nature. Embrace it. It's not a sin. You are made divinely holy. And it starts with embracing everything you have within. Because everything you want outside is in you. And that's what I had to go through. And I went through many seasons. With each season I expand and have more love and light. Hold more consciousness for that space of myself. Hold more love and compassion for myself. And I stopped fighting it. Stop trying to be something I'm not. Stop trying to refine myself to a space that literally neglects aspects of me so I can't be whole, and I come sitting here with anxiety trying to be something that I'm not. Yes, I have struggled too. I have suffered too. I have fought myself too. I have sat here and contradicted myself. Life is definitely a paradox. One moment, sometimes you could say something and it works. The next moment, it doesn't. Life is forever changing, ever evolving. And we have cycles and seasons. And it's a spiritual Jacob's ladder journey. And it's really holistic. Because things definitely do come full circle with the seasons and cycles. And so, yeah. Know that you're whole. You are not broken. You have to accept all aspects of you. I know we try to reach and strive for this level of perfection, and we idolize and romanticize like a particular goal. But we miss our sitting in our wholeness and stepping into our wholeness and moving forward in the journey because we get so mesmerized, like I said, by the mountaintop, by the goal, by the idolization of lifestyle, trying to perfect, by some of the people who are outside of us as the so-called healer leaders or people that are pillars in our community that also more than likely have the best intentions, right? But we all have our own unique thumbprint iris, different strands and texture and amount of strands of hair, we are made uniquely different, but uniquely and wholly divine. And as much as we can go into a broken mindset, we can always send ourselves back into our whole mindset. And in our whole mindset is when we're whole and we have everything we need to continue to enjoy this journey. So that's what I wanted to come to you today, because I'm not separate from this journey. I cannot speak something that does not apply to my life and that I can't put into practice, that I haven't experienced or embraced or lived through, to come and channel this state of consciousness and stream. I try to be as obedient as possible to the divine energy that lives within me and within you. But my journey is unique to me, and your journey is unique to you. And I say wholly and fully embrace it. And you accept where you are in the season now, but you could still accept where you are with the season now, and know that it is a season, it is a moment. And life is forever unfolding, forever changing. And if there's a yearning and a calling for better or more, then the more and better shall come. Be open and embrace yourself and all of yourself to make room for the new, from new for the coming in the evening. And yeah, I thank you and I appreciate you, and thank you for my poetic words that I had to share here today. I just turned on the camera not knowing what to say, but I definitely had something that needed to come through. And this was a message just for you. Thank you.